I like the NBA. Congrats to the Milwaukee Bucks. They beat OKC last night, two very good teams. But Adam Silver was talking to the media. He acknowledged that television ratings have fallen on a cliff, but one of his lines was, listen to this, well, we're at the point where our social media audience is at the highest of any league. Yeah, congrats for crushing Twitter and IG and TikTok. Ain't paying the bills, brah. Amazon, NBC, ESPN are your partners for the next decade. Twitter, TikTok may not even be legal in 6 weeks. Who gives a rip about social media? You know what else is crushing on social media? Young people taking their clothes off. Congratulations. It's not paying the bills either. So my takeaway is Oklahoma City, here's what I saw last night. Shoot 32 threes and make 5. The game is repetitive and boring. Roger Goodell and Rob Manfred have taken a lot of heat for cultural changes they've made with the sport. A lot of old-timers and purists have pushed back rule changes, and they've been right. Rob Manfred, 2 for 2 this last year. Goodell, multiple moves, almost always right. Adam Silver needs to change the game. The three-point shot is boring and repetitive. Every team plays the exact same way. I've said before, I would move the three-point arc into the bench, eliminate the corner, move it back a foot, make it part of the game, not the game. Last night you had 72 threes. That's not good at the YMCA, and it's not good in pro basketball. The most entertaining team in league history that had the highest ratings, the Michael Jordan Bulls. Do you know what they shot? Because they were athletic and high-flying. 5 threes a game. This year's Bulls averaged 44. You might as well turn Michael Jordan's Jumpman logo, if he played today, into MJ with a fall-away 27-footer. Boring. It needs to be part of the game, not the game. By the way, Major League Baseball defensive shift. Oh, the analytics proved you could get more guys out that way. You were right. But nobody wants to watch Bryce Harper and, Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts lining out to a second baseman playing right field and then heading back to the dugout. You want them on television. And I've said this about tech before. You got to be more than just smart with tech. Google Glasses, the Meta headsets. For dorks, the consumers were like, yeah, it's smart. Who wants to walk around wearing a Meta headset and be a huge dork? Packaging matters. Steve Jobs, the greatest mind ever in Silicon Valley. He always understood packaging matters. It can't just be math. If the Philadelphia Eagles could get 5 yards of tush push, they would never have to do any other play, and the NFL would outlaw it. It's okay that they do it twice a game. If they got to 10 times, the NFL would outlaw it and should. And packaging matters, how a game looks. My entire life, I watched the NBA. All of our favorite players have been like MJ and Kobe and athletic players. There's a reason the dunk contest is usually more fun to watch than the three-point shooting contest. The NBA has the world's greatest athletes. Ant Edwards now shoots 10.5 threes a game. Yuck. I don't mind 3. I want to see him drive to the basket. It can't just be about, analytics say math isn't always good for sports. The defensive shift, got more people out. I want Mookie Betts and Bryce Harper on base, not in the dugout. The three-point shot now, it's just too repetitive. It's boring. Everybody plays the same. So these are all TV shows. I don't care that you're big on TikTok. Tech can't be just smart, and sports can't just be efficient with analytics. It's got to be entertaining. Ant Edwards. It's funny. I was telling a friend last night. I said this idea that everybody has to shoot analytics, but what if you don't have good three-point shooters? That's like saying, all kids have to drink milk. What if you're lactose intolerant? I had a stomach ache for 13 years. I was told I had to drink milk. It's not good for everybody. Three-pointers were good for the Warriors. Not bad for Milwaukee. When Chet Holmgren's not playing, OKC shouldn't be shooting them. Everybody chased the Warriors for years. One team was winning titles shooting a bunch of threes, the Warriors. So Adam Silver, do a Rob Manfred, do a Roger Goodell. Nobody cares about TikTok. Congrats dominating that. You know what the NFL cares about? Fox, Amazon, Netflix, CBS, ESPN. That's what they care about, their broadcast partners, because that's driving the money in the league. Butts in seats and butts on their couch watching on TV. From like a something linked to Bleacher Report. Joe Brady is a strong candidate for the Bears job. No, he's not. We know Joe Brady from two things. Being the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills offense with Josh Allen. Not the biggest lift in the world. And also being the passing game coordinator for Joe Burrow at LSU with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Not exactly big lifts. Ed Orgeron won a natty with that team. Love Ed, but he won a natty. Okay, the Chicago Bears can't be your first gig. Can't be. He's never been a high school coach. Can't be your first gig. And I'll give you an example. Everybody that works on the construction of a bridge is a great tradesman. Everybody is great at something. But about one or two people can lead the project. They're called architects and engineers. The Chicago Bears are a bridge project, but not just a bridge project. They're the Golden Gate Bridge. They're the biggest bridge project of the decade. They've never had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards. The Packers are up around 5,000 annually. Like, this is the ultimate bridge project. You can't say, hey, this guy over here, Joe Brady, he's great with asphalt. I can find those guys, and they're good tradesmen, and they deserve to be paid, but they can't lead the project. You've got oldest owners in the league, a loud and relentless and powerful media, a general manager who he's got a spotty track record. Don't hate him, don't love him. And a president, Kevin Warren, who reportedly is, and I've been told this, can be very, very political. This is not a job for a coordinator or a job for somebody that's never even been a high school coach. This is the big bridge project. You go and you get the firm. You don't have, in the biggest murder case in a law firm, have a junior associate on the case. You got some old guy with salt and pepper hair, and it's his 47th murder case. This is a big job with a loud media. There's talent on the roster, but there's talent on the Jets roster. There are so many obstacles here. And again, I'm not saying Joe Brady can't do it, but Mike Vrabel can do it. Mike Vrabel was coached hard in the ecosystem of Belichick. Mike Vrabel was in Tennessee, and they've had plenty of dysfunction. He had to win a division without a great quarterback or an ascending quarterback. So the idea, I keep seeing all these coordinators for this job. You can't hire a guy who's good with asphalt to build the Golden Gate Bridge. This is a grown-up job. You need the top lawyer to handle this case. You need somebody that's been to a conference championship, that can deal with dysfunction, that can blow stuff up, start over, and build a culture. That's what Harbaugh was. That's what Dan Campbell was. You know, Dan Campbell had been interim head coach, but he'd been an interim head coach. And he had many people in the league, like the Bill Parcells and Jimmy Johnsons, guys like that were on the phone saying, this guy can do it. And they were right, he can. But if I hear another one of these coordinators, listen, Joe Brady can coach. But having Joe Burrow in college with the best receiving corps collegiately in the history of the sport and Josh Allen, that's a pretty light lift. That's not what Chicago is. That's not even close to what Chicago is. All right, Danny Parkins, we'll talk about that in about 35 minutes. J-Mac,